Here's how you can get ahead of 99% of music producers and level up your beats insanely fast. This is the exact blueprint that will get you closer to your bigger goals in music. Now, I'm a full-time music producer, and my mission with this channel is pretty simple: to help you become the best version of yourself as a music producer. I've been in the game for over 8 years now, and I see producers making the same mistakes over and over again. And if you're watching this video, chances are you're probably making these mistakes too. So stick around. I'm going to give you a guaranteed system that you can follow right now to see crazy progress in your beats. Now, before I do show you the blueprint, first of all, you got to understand the biggest mistake producers make. And to explain it, let me show you this beautiful photo of a young strapping fella right here. Yep, that's me, 14 years old, super skinny, baller, wanted to play basketball. Back then, I wanted to see how far I could go as a basketball player. I was working on my skills every day, but the problem was I was playing against grown men. They were twice my size, and yeah, I was just getting bullied on the court. So I figured I needed to get stronger. I joined a gym. I'd go in, mess around for a couple hours, come home, eat whatever I wanted, and then just repeat the process. At first, I did make some progress. You know, I was literally going from doing nothing to lifting some weight, so there's going to be some progress there. But pretty quickly, I hit a wall. It did not matter how often I went, I just wasn't getting any better. And this right here is what I see so many producers doing. They'll decide to take music seriously, they'll buy all the gear, and then they'll just start making random beats every day. And at first, there is progress there. You know, they start seeing some progress in their production skills, but pretty quickly that starts to plateau. They kind of run out of ideas and things just kind of stagnate. And they can't figure out why. And honestly, 99% of the producers that apply for my mentorship program, they all come at me with the same problem. Now, going back to my basketball journey, it took me a few years to realize why I wasn't improving in the gym. Just showing up to the gym wasn't enough. I had to think about it. I had to train specific muscles, you know, leg day, chest day, back day. I had to eat the right food and track my protein, carbs, fat, make sure I was eating enough to gain the weight I needed to get stronger. And once I had that structured plan, progress went crazy. I went from doing this to, you know, doing something more like this. And that's exactly how you should approach music production. Essentially, you need a workout plan for your beats. So here's the step-by-step system I'll walk all the producers through on my mentorship program. It's simple and it works. So you want to think of your production skills like building blocks. If the blocks underneath aren't solid, then the whole thing's going to collapse. So essentially, your goal should be to build each of these blocks as strong as possible before moving on to the next. First things first, start with your drums and your bounce, get the swing right. Focus all your efforts on picking high quality sounds, getting your bounce and swing right, and balancing the mix of your drums so it feels good to the ear. And here's a little cheat code. Just go and recreate the drums from the songs or the beats that you really love. And then just keep putting the reps in until your drums are sounding clean, unique, they hit hard or, you know, as soft as you want them to. And just get to a point where you're really confident. Do this, honestly, your beats will sound way better, way faster. And then once your drums are solid, then move on to melodies. Work on chords, top melodies, leads, basses, pull inspiration from songs you actually love, study how they're crafted, how they built them. Just ask yourself, you know, how many instruments are layered in this particular track? You know, what instruments allowed this track to sound the way it does? Spend a few weeks making only melodic loops. And then once your melodies sound like the ones in your favorite tracks or pretty close to it, then you can move on. Now we can work on arrangement, taking your 8-bar loop into a fully fledged complete beat. Again, study how your favorite tracks are structured. When do the drums drop? When does the hook come in? How many instruments are playing during the verses? Apply those techniques and those ideas to your own beats until your arrangements feel natural and exciting. Again, spend some weeks solely doing that. And then finally, you can move on to mixing. Learn how to level your beats properly, use effect plugins tastefully, and just put the reps in to learn how to make your beats sound loud, clean, and polished. Each of these building blocks right here are their own skill. You don't just get good at producing, you get good at drums, you get good at melodies, mixing, arrangement, then you stack all of those things together. And here's a secret: spend 2 to 3 weeks focusing on one skill at a time, then move on to the next. Focused repetition trumps just random practice every single time. You'll stop wasting time and every session will actually move you forward. And here's where the magic happens. Once you've trained each of these blocks individually, then you can start combining them. That's where everything clicks, your workflow feels smooth, your beats sound pro, and you're not guessing anymore. When I make a beat now, I'm not hoping it's going to sound good. I kind of know it will, not to be cocky, because I've trained every muscle in my workflow. Now, one of the biggest areas producers tend to struggle with is melodies. That's where we end up spending a lot of time with the producers I work with. So if that's you as well, watch this video next. I break down a super simple sandwich formula that will completely transform the way you make melodies.